Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? My name is Kyle, you know me as Dragonmar, and welcome to a new video. Today guys, we'll be going over one important tip for every agent in Valorant. Hopefully give you guys some good advice, some good insight here into some of the most effective ways to play each agent in the game. If you guys enjoy the video, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe for more, and feel free to let me know what type of video you'd like to see next. I often use your suggestions for videos. If you do enjoy or maybe have some questions, definitely check me out on Twitch, where we're going to be streaming pretty much daily starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. Hope to see you guys there. With that being said, let's start the video. Alright, so I figured we start off with Astra, and we'll just go in order here. So with Astra, I think that one of the most important things you can do with her is use her abilities to essentially fake out the opponents. And the reason is that Astra's stars can become any ability she has, which means people won't know what they are. So for example, right, if we go into our Astra form here and we start placing stars, we have Cubby here on B side bind, right? Super common spot, tons of people play here. If I throw a star right here, the player in this Cubby doesn't know if I'm going to stun them, if I'm going to pull them, or if this is going to be a smoke. And the great thing about Astra is it doesn't have to be any of those things. It can literally be whatever we want it to be, which kind of is a little crazy in theory. But nonetheless, the important thing here with Astra, and the biggest tip I have, is that you should be consistently faking abilities throughout the rounds to move enemies and to kind of get them out of position. Another thing here is, as we all know, the recall ability does provide a temporary smoke as well for about a second and a half, which is also really useful. But the idea with this tip is that these stars can be anything, and generally people don't want to play on top of them, right? Because that's pretty risky. Like if I make a gravity well here, I don't want to play on top of this either. But that's the thing, you don't know if she's going to recall this like that, or if maybe she's just going to stun you or something. That's where Astra, that's where the mind games comes in. So if you're going to be playing Astra, you need to be faking abilities, even if it's across the map. If someone calls out somebody in U-Haul, I want to be throwing that over there as well, even if we don't plan on going there, just to help fake them out as well. You know, keep people guessing all the time. All right, next up we have Breach. Now, if you see my recent tweet about Breach, you know I don't think too highly of him. And the reason for that is flashes. So obviously this tip has to do with flashes, which are just incredibly strong. So strong. And you want to abuse this. If you're playing Breach, the tip for you is abuse flashes. But realistically, what I really want to say here is the order of your flashes is really important to understand like what you're actually doing. So a great example of this is over here towards B long, where if you're attacking B, you know, you might have flashes, and if you flash the same spot over and over, that's okay. But if you can flash while you move, it's even better. So I think a really interesting example of this is maybe a high flash like this, followed by a flash here as well. And as you can see, I'm not blind, I'm able to run into sight, and anybody on site, whoever wanted to peek, is now completely blind. Even the people back here would have been blind by a high flash like that. And these are the type of things you're looking for. The order in which you flash and where you flash to be able to move while you're flashing. That's kind of like the next level of Breach play. A lot of Breaches will do this. They'll wait, then they'll do this. They won't actually move. So they'll maybe have one duelist running in or something, but no one there to support them. If you learn how to do this on the fly and you can run and do it at the same time like that, you know, check what's not blind, and then boom, you're in sights, right? That's the tip here, is learning the order to flash in to be able to move quickly and sort of efficiently. All right, Brimstone, my old lover, right? I mean, I started on Brim, obviously, and I still do like him, although obviously I am playing Omen now. But the Brim tip here, first of all, I want to give just a super quick tip. Everyone should know this. Whenever you're using his ult, you're always looking for positions like this, like in U-Haul, where there is no easy exit. So anyone playing around here is either going to have to run into your ult and die if they go back in, or they have to come out and fight you. That's a super simple tip. Everyone should know that, right? That's just how you use his ult efficiently. But the tip here is the most underutilized ability in the game that recently received a buff is his stim pack, and these things are really good. When I was playing Brim once he got buffed, just to try him out again, and I was actually having great success with him. The stim pack was something I didn't see a lot of other Brims using, but I was using it all the time. For 100 credits, you're getting a really nice buff, and you can throw it in positions where the enemy can't see it, right? They don't need to know you have it. Then you come out, boom. And at low ranks, where people don't have the best aim, the boost to your firing speed is the key here. So when you're not hitting headshots, when you're like aiming at somebody's body, you know, when you have that a boosted fire rate, you kill them so much quicker. And it's kind of like a cheat code for people who suck at aiming, which I know is a lot of you guys, let's be honest here. That's why Reyna is so damn powerful when she gets her ult, because she literally just shoots so many bullets, there's nothing you can do, even if they're not headshots. And the same principle here is with Brim. He just has a slightly lesser version. It's not like he's gonna heal himself, but it is so strong even if you're not hitting headshots. All right, guys, so now we get into Cypher, and this is a really important thing to understand. Something I really try to drill into people's heads who want to play Cypher is that if you're gonna play him, you have to use setups, and you have to play around them, because without them, it's kind of pointless. So right here, this is just a very basic setup. I just made this up. Like, this is something I've definitely run into things like this. Obviously, the idea here is you're tripping for the push into sight, and you're probably gonna use cages so that you can move around safely. You could even put these up top on stuff as well, but you can use your cages as well to provide cover as you move around, and to potentially block vision of these trips, so that when players try to enter sight to kill you, they get tripped and you get the free kills onto them. Then you also have a camera up top, give you vision of people pushing into sight, and it's in a spot where that's a pretty good spot, right? Because you can check down B long as well, and players pushing, jumping out, all that. So this is a really simple. I just made this in about 3 seconds, right? I didn't even think about it, but this is a decent setup, right? This is gonna catch some people, you know, and this is what you should be looking for if you're playing Cypher, is exactly this. But the key here is you can't just be peeking, right? You can't just be taking fights all the time with Cypher, because if you die, this stuff is gone, right? You have no value at that point. You know, so much of the value of Cypher is being able to lock down positions because of his abilities like this on defense. So that's why it's so incredibly important that if you are playing Cypher, you not only live, but play around your setups as well, instead of, you know, running off, taking 1v1 duels and dying, and then, you know, your trips deactivate. All right. Now we're on to Jett. So taking a look at Jett, I think this is the first duelist we've gone over. There is one strategy that I see people doing a lot, and I love it, and I think it's a great way to play Jett, and that's to use a smoke and then dash into it to entry into sites, and to kind of break up what a defense has set up already. The most common map you'll see this on is Ascent. We're not on Ascent right now, we're on Bind, we're chilling. I'm not even going to switch it, so I'm just going to showcase kind of what this looks like in a way you could use this. So first of all, if you guys are trying to take a short, what you could do, by the way, I do recommend rebinding dash to a different key so this is easier. What you could do is you can smoke, dash into it, just like that. And now, if there is a player over here, they have to fight you as you come out of smoke. You can have your teammates flash for you. You could re-smoke yourself if you wanted, but you've avoided this whole area where, generally speaking, it's super hard to get out of, right? Boom, dash in. You know, even if you show yourself for a second, super hard to hit this shot. You know, for 1 second, boom, you're over. And then you take these fights. Or, if you have U-Haul control already, you could get a little crazier. Obviously not with a spike or anything, but maybe you want to get over to triple, right? And you go boom, like that. And now you're over to triple. You can play around this and play how you want. But the key here, and the tip here for Jett, is that if you guys find you're struggling to entry, because Jett doesn't have flashes or anything, right? You want to use her movement and use her smokes to your advantage, right? So you know, learning how to smoke and then dash into it and play around this properly, right? Because there are ways to do this. You know, you don't want to just smoke and then just fly out, you know, shooting, because you're probably going to die. They're going to expect it. If you re-smoke yourself, take a little time, play a little safe, and then attack, that's a really, really good idea. And I love this strategy for Jett. I love seeing this in my games because it works so well. Because, by the way, as you go in, your team should follow, of course, right? That's just how it works. And it's such a good way to play Jett. All right, so KILLJOY is next, and the tip here, I want to quickly do 2 tips just because I really want people to know, you know, understand this. Turret is your friend when you're attacking, okay? You're gonna use your turret to kind of get 2v1. So right here, I'm gonna place it on short. If a player is kind of hanging out in U-Haul, which generally they are, they might see this turret and they start shooting it. The second you hear your turret getting shot, you want to swing as well and try to refrag that. So that's the first thing, is essentially using a turret to get a 2v1. But KILLJOY is pretty insane when it comes to post plants, and that's really where she shines because of her mollies. Actually, what are they even called? Nanostorms, right? So essentially what we're doing here every single time, if possible, is we want to put 1 or 2 mollies down on the spike, and then we want to play back. And congratulations, you're better than like 50% of Killjoys in the game already. What makes Killjoy so strong is staying alive post plant and being able to toggle these when sort of there's a little bit of downtime. So like, for example, maybe you're repositioning, boom, hit your nano swarm, kind of reposition yourself. You could get some really good distance as well. Or, you know, if they tap it, of course, we're going to hit the nano swarm, right? And molly them off. And the thing is, they last so long, and with 2 of them, you can really spread these out to get some super, super nice sort of defense on a planted spike. But the important tip here is that if you are playing Killjoy with nano swarms and you plant, you have to play safe. You can't die because they need you alive for this to have any effect. All right, next up, we have, you know, our boy Omen. Obviously Omen, you know, I've talked a lot about it. If you ever come on stream, you know, it's all I play. But in this tip, I do want to talk about one ways. So one of the most common one ways is the one way I'm showing right now on top of this box right here. You can throw it pretty much wherever you want up there. And this is what you're looking at. You can throw it a little bit wider if you want to try to stretch it a bit. You can play from so many positions here. This position back in this cubby is really nice. And the thing with Omen one ways is that because his smokes regenerate, it's actually like super fine to throw these early and often, because you're gonna get your smoke back later anyways, and this could potentially stop a push, right? You just gotta be careful. Sometimes they'll fall off if you can't quite hit it successfully, but then you just have a regular smoke down anyways. And one ways are great because people still push these to this day, and they'll have no vision of you, right? If I'm an enemy, I just want to showcase this from sort of the attacker's point of view, because really your one ways are going to be on defense. Look at this. I can't see anything until I get all the way over here, right? But you saw me when I was standing over here. Like, this is a, you know, you can see their feet so easily. Boom. Headshots. Easy. And yeah, big tip for Omen is to kind of look up and create your own one ways, because they are super useful and they're so easy to do. I mean, seriously, anyone can do them. It takes no skill. Do one ways. Enjoy. All right, so with Phoenix, we kind of have an interesting tip here, and that is the flash high. So a lot of people will flash like this. That's pretty expected, right? People understand that if they're playing against the Phoenix, some of the flashes, they're, you know, at least a Phoenix, it's going to be kind of eye level where the flashes go, right? Because people want to easily be able to turn corners. They don't have to move their mouse around. But what I'm telling you is the flash high, and to do something like that. Okay, not exactly like that. But like this can actually help your teammates as well. So if you have teammates on site, you can easily flash over this truck. The enemy team is probably not going to expect that. That's kind of one of those things that's going to catch people off guard. They're used to looking around here, you know, and expecting a flash. They're not thinking a flash is going to come over the truck. Anytime you see a box like this, for example, triple over here, like that as well. Same exact thing, right? And this is where you can start kind of incorporating some interesting plays to catch people off guard and to kind of take that, what is so simple, is such a simple flash, kind of to the next level. All right, so the RAZE tip I have is actually pretty straightforward, and it's something I think most people already do, but it's essentially to use your satchels in satchel jump any ultimate. Whenever you ult, you never ever want to be just running around on the ground, because it's so hard to get the proper angle on a lot of kills depending on where people are. When you're high up, you can kind of shoot down on people, and that's what you're looking for. Now, again, I would recommend rebinding your satchels in these situations, or your blast packs, sorry if I call them satchels, because I just cannot use the Q button to do this. I don't think I have it rebound. Let's see. Yeah, it's bound to my mouse button's bound to my nade right now. But essentially what we want to do, always satchel boost and then go for kills that way. Super simple tip here. And the reason, one, obviously to get a nice aerial shot looking down, much easier to hit your shots. A lot of people miss with these ults, by the way. A lot of Rosa ults. But another reason, very hard to track people through the air. Super hard. And if you guys don't know, RAZE actually just received a slight nerf where you now can actually hear, or where you'll be able to hear her in the air, the same way as you hear Jett kind of in the air as well. Because before, I guess it was actually silent when she was in the air until she landed. So just, you know, keep in mind, it's not just style points, you know, it is actually really important to understand how to do stuff like this, because you need that movement. And it's kind of like, it is kind of like more of a high level, it feels high level, but it's not. It's so easy. If I can do it, you can do it, right? Guys, I gotta be honest, we're on REYNA. I'm just straight up the tip here. Let me just quickly end this game phase. You gotta ult, okay? You guys just watched, recently released another VOD review of a Plat 2 REYNA. In the first half, he had a ton of kills, but he only ulted like once, I believe. REYNAs just need to ult more. I'm not saying that it's the perfect time to ult. I think a lot of people, same with Overwatch, right? They get stuck on this idea that they need the perfect time to ult. Oh, I can't ult now because, you know, XYZ isn't happening. But when it comes to REYNA, because her ult is a little bit different and really is just focused on like buffing you, you want to be using it a lot more, because a lot of REYNAs will go entire games using maybe 1 or 2 ults when they had a potential 4 or 5 available. And that's the tip here. Nothing crazy, but just, I think if you're playing REYNA, you want to be paying attention to your ult usage and trying to get some more value out of it. All right, now on to Sage here, and we're going to talk about probably one of the most overlooked abilities in the game, and that's, of course, the slow orb. So anytime you guys hear a rush, maybe you're defending B, and you hear people rushing, you know, into hookah over here, slow. Or maybe you're playing near long, you hear people rushing long, slow. Right, these slows are so good in a game like Valorant, where movement can sometimes really get people in trouble. Because what happens is a lot of people are still going to push through this, and they're going to walk through. Do you know how easy it is to headshot a walking player? Exactly. And the idea here is, not only does the slow kind of give you a nice clean headshot if someone decides to push it, it also completely stops the enemies in their tracks, helps you get rotates over to your sights. And I have to say, one of the biggest mistakes I see out of Sages is at the start of the round, they'll just do something like this. And they'll just launch slows, you know, out of nowhere, or they'll shoot a slow with no, you know, no one's even there, right? But if you're getting attacked, even if you're playing on site, right, you could slow something like that where it's going to go right under a window, so when they drop out, they can't really move. You know, it's so simple, but it's such an important tip to understand, because the slows are really what makes Sage such a good agent. It's not just the wall, it's not the heal, it's not the res. The slows are really important. And just kind of like another side tip here, it's just because I've been watching a lot of VCT, a lot of the pro teams, combining a slow with a RAZE nade. If you have a RAZE in your team, slow somewhere where enemies often go at the start, nade it, and yeah, enjoy some free kills off of that as well. Now, this SKYE tip is going to be kind of reminiscent of a SOVA drone, because what we're using here is we're going to use the Q ability, which is Trailblazer, the doggo, and we're going to use this to clear. We are using essentially SKYE utility for info, whether it's, you know, shooting one of the flashes to see if you get the audio cue that it hits somebody to know, or in this case, let's say we got a clear hookah. I hate this spot. I love playing. I love this map. I love Bind. Bind's my favorite map. I hate hookah because shotguns here, up here, close. Oh my god, just, yeah, don't even get me started on this map, right? Or at least on this position, even though it's my favorite map. Kind of weird how I hate this spot, but nonetheless, that is where something like a SOVA drone or Trailblazer comes in. All we gotta do, gotta use it, come in, scout. Just looking for info. At the end of the life, you always want to jump as well, just see if you can hit somebody. Boom. That's it. Congratulations, you're a decent SKYE player now. A lot of what SKYE is, though, is getting information, whether she uses her cabbages, or whether she is throwing the birds out to blind and get info. For example, if I want to know if someone's over there, all I gotta do is do this, right? Did I hit somebody? You know, did I get the audio cue? And that's something I think not enough people think about when they play SKYE, is they're more so trying to just use them for flashes, or just use Trailblazer to stun people. But really, the info part is equally good. Getting info, getting map control. SKYE actually is really impressive when it comes to those aspects. Now we get on to SOVA. SOVA being probably one of the best agents in the game, and the reason for that is his abilities work super well in tandem with teammates. And like I just talked about with Trailblazer on SKYE, using an owl drone to kind of get some intel, get some information on enemy teammates is huge. Showers, again, super hard spot to sometimes clear, especially if people have been pressuring showers, right? So being able to use the owl drone, excuse me, to clear showers is great, right? This is a tip in and of itself, right? Using this to get information, to scout. But the idea here is, while you're using your drone, while your drone clears, you want a teammate to kind of follow it in. That way, when the drone does see someone and tags them, that player is probably going to shoot the drone, right? Most of us are going to shoot that drone instantly. That's when your teammate swings and gets the kill. So the key here with SOVA is, whenever you're using an owl drone, ask your teammates or see if anybody is around who can follow that drone. Another great spot, which I always do this, is It's on Haven, a site in sewers, where a teammate will drone down into sewers where there's a lot of shotguns, a lot of SMGs, and I will follow that drone in on Omen, and kind of make plays off of that. It works really, really well. Same principle applies on any map. Have your teammates following your drone. All right, now we're on to Viper, and the Viper tip is super simple, right? Essentially, what you're gonna want to use is your wall, which is the toxic screen or E ability, and you're just gonna want to use this on every choke point you possibly can. So right here, this doesn't even need to be the best wall in the world, but as you can see, I've blocked vision into hookah, and I've blocked the entrance into sight from octagon. This wall alone, before the buff, was pretty good, but now with it instantly decaying 50, is it shield or health, whatever it is, from the player who walks through it, super strong. You're no longer just denying vision, now you're applying some significant damage as well, making your kills even quicker. Most people would be very reluctant to push these, and you don't need to get fancy with them, right? Just simply blocking off choke points is crucial. You start hearing people, you know, pushing up, maybe they're using abilities, throw one of these up, play around it, play in a position so where they walk through, you can hit them before that decay goes away, right? Which I think is 1.5 seconds or around 2 seconds. So you want to be able to make and take a fight off of your wall. Really important. You know, like I say all the time, it's one thing to just use an ability, but you have to be able to make a play off of it as well. Otherwise, it's just not that useful. So being in a position where you see the wall, see them come through, and be able to make a play, that's the really important part here. Last but not least, we have Yoru. So Yoru recently received a buff, and the tip here is he is even better for recon. So essentially what you're going to do now is you're going to throw your little TP, jump into your ultimate, go find the enemies, and then while you're still in dimensional drift, right, which is your ult, you're gonna want to TP out. And now essentially you have like a supercharged owl drone, right? Like you are zooming in that thing. And you're gonna be able to spot a ton of people and just get so much information. You know, obviously, another thing you can do, I guess, if you really want to with the ult, is you'll see a lot of really good Yoru players do this, where let's say we spot an enemy right here, right? But we know we're safe around here. We don't have to TP back. We can come out of our ultimate in cover and then take fights as well. That's another possibility. Of course, just remember you always have your TP out as well. But the big tip here is that Yoru is literally like a supercharged owl drone, and you can just run around, find players for your team, ping where they are, and then just safely TP out, which is great, which was a great buff. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. So pretty simple, but you know, albeit important tips here. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on Twitch, and I'll see you next time as well. Take it easy and peace.